data structures topic will be covered in this lecture. Definition of graph and types of graph. Definition of graph. A graph which consists of a finite set of vertices and edges which connect a pair of nodes. A graph is a nonlinear data structure consists of nodes and edges. The nodes are sometimes also referred to vertices, and edges are lines that connect any node in the graph. More formally, graph can be defined as: in above graph, the set of vertices equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and set of edges equal to 1, 12, 23, 34, 4, 14, 30. Graphs are used to solve many real-life problems. Graphs are used to represent networks. The graph network may include path in a city or telephone network or circuit network. Graph also used in social network in LinkedIn, Facebook. For example, in Facebook, each person represents with a vertex. Each node is structured and contain information like person ID, name, gender, local, etc. Types of graph. Directed graph. Order pair of vertices represented as U and V directed from vertex U to V. Next type of graph. Undirected graph. Unordered pair of vertices represent as U and V disagree any sense of direction and trait. Both end vertices are interchangeable. Next type of graph, finite graph. The graph vertices and edges is called finite graph if the number of vertices and edges in the graph is limited in number. Next type of graph, finite graph. The graph of vertices and edges is called a finite graph in the number of vertices and edges. The graph is interval. Next type of graph, simple graph. If each pair of nodes or vertices in a graph, vertices and edges has only one edges, it is a simple graph. As a result, there is just one edges linking two vertices, depict one-to-one interaction between two elements. Next type, multigraph. If there are numerous edges between a pair of vertices in a graph, vertices and edges, the graph is referred to as a multiple graph. There are no self-loop in a multigraph. Next type of graph, it is a reworked version of retrieval graph. If several vertices but no edges connect, then a graph is vertices and edges is a null graph. Next type, complete graph. If graph vertices and edges is also simple graph, it is complete. Using the edges with n number of vertices must be connected. It is also known as full graph because each vertex degree must be n minus 1. Next type, regular graph. If a graph vertices and edges is a simple graph with the same degree of vertex, it is a regular graph as a result. Every whole graph is a regular graph. Next type, weighted graph. A graph is vertices and edges is called a labeled or weighted graph because each edge has a value or weight represent the cost of traversing that edges. Next, directed graph. A directed graph is also referred to as a digraph is set of nodes connected by edges with each direction. Disconnected graph. When there is no edges linking the vertices, if refer to the null graph as a disconnected graph. Cyclic graph. If a graph contains at least one cycle, it is cyclic graph. A cyclic graph. When there are no cycles in a graph, it is called an cyclic graph. Directed acyclic graph. It is also known as directed acyclic graph, and it is graph with directed edges but no cycle. It represents the edges using an ordered pair of vertices. It is direct the vertices and restore the same data. Next, last one is subgraph. The vertices and edges of a graph that are subset of another graph are known as subgraph. Thank you friends for watching this video.